Good evening, and welcome to Karl Marx Does the Washing Up,
where we ponder ludicrous metaphysical nonsense in the time it takes to make 5 Tesco's basic microwave meals.
which is around 21 minutes.
It might be.
I'm Shy.
And I'm Ilyas and Shy.
And so what I wanted to discuss today is, do you remember when we first met? Maybe only 2 years ago? Maybe 18 months? I can't remember when.
Has it only been 18 months?
Yeah, it's nuts that we've
nuts,
achieved so much, and we went to this poetry thing, and then we wanted chips. So we were sitting on Oxford Street eating chips, and you told me this story, and it was a ridiculous story, but so much came from that story. I think that's why we have a podcast. That's where the hologram theory came from.
The basis of our friendship.
It's the basis of our friendship.
That's the first conversation we had.
Yeah, the first proper conversation we ever had one-on-one. And I was trying to tell that story to someone the other day, and I can't remember it.
But I think that's beautiful that
the basis of our friendship.
Yeah, especially since you have such a good memory.
Yeah, exactly.
The basis of our friendship is the one thing you can't remember.
Yeah, but then that maybe suggests that our friendship has evolved to such an extent that we don't need that.
Yeah, also we speak a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of these conversations.
But do you know the story that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It was a hologram.
Yeah, the hologram story. Yeah.
So basically, I was. I guess there's loads of little things that are around it. But the main thing was that. So I met this girl.
Obviously.
In Victoria.
Obviously, it involves a girl.
Obviously,
it involves a girl.
And so she kind of comes up to me and says, where can I get a coffee? And I just point to a coffee shop right next door. And she goes, sits there, and then I come by and give her my number, say, whatever, give me a call. We could go for a drink after my appointment. And she said she's going away, but then she's back in a week, and we can meet for an hour. So we meet up for an hour.
An hour is very specific.
Well, she was 2 hours late.
So. Oh, okay.
And so, but she lives in Italy, and she was just coming to England to go to York or something.
Okay.
And she's in Victoria going back home. So we meet for an hour, have some coffee or whatever. And I don't know what kind of, maybe I'm in a strange mood at that moment. Also, that morning it's the morning of the most powerful night in our religion.
Okay.
It's meant to be the night of 1,000 nights.
Okay.
Right, so you stay up all night and meditate.
Yeah, and did you?
No. No, well, I stayed up until 2 to 4 o'clock or something.
Okay. So you still felt that you were in that zone, right, in that moment?
Yeah. And there was then I met up with this girl, and there was something, maybe it was just the power of that, or I hadn't slept. And it just felt quite ecstatic, but at the same time, it wasn't this profound, soulful connection. It just was maybe whatever. Anyway,
maybe more heightened than a normal connection.
Yeah, but maybe because I'm living in some ridiculous poetic.
Yeah.
Anyway, reality, so she goes back to Italy, and then we start messaging a bit, and then we Skype and stuff. And then I was thinking that I was at a point when I was I want to do something kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
which is a great thought.
Well, I was just and also I got too stale in my life, so I need to run away or something, or do something. And so then I thought, maybe I'll go to Italy. Do you want to go to Italy and spend a weekend together and just hang out or something? And so we kind of spoke about that, and she's like, yeah, come to Italy, and once I sort of kind of decided, we didn't decide it, but it was a sort of an idea. The next day I went to the nursing home. It was, we were having a summer party at the nursing home. And I'm just sitting around dancing with some old ladies. And one of the residents says, "You're a very sensitive soul. You're a very sensitive person."
Okay, that's true though.
Yeah. Just randomly. This is also a person I've never
met. Right?
I've actually talked to her a lot. And she's a lovely person, but we never really had huge deep conversations. Yeah. When I go to the nursing home, it's not huge deep conversations with everyone. They just tell me the same stories about how they dance with their husband. And she just points to me, and she's just "You're a very sensitive soul. You're very sensitive person. You need to work on that. It's a great source of amazing stuff for you, and it's where all your talent lies. But you're very sensitive, and you should you need to build your resilience." And I
That's
was like,
interesting. That's like what a mother would say, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that relates to me, but it's also quite abstract. That could relate to many people.
Yeah.
People can associate with that.
Yeah.
And then she says, I can't remember, she says a series of things which were really like on point.
Yeah.
But just randomly says this. And then she says to me, you have to go to Italy.
Had you said anything?
I had said nothing.
Okay.
I said nothing. This is the day after I thought like I should go to Italy. He's like, you have to go to Italy. You're a part of you belongs there. There's you have a so it's, you must go to Italy. There's a part of you belongs there. And I was like, this is like our first interaction.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you know about Italy? So you hadn't mentioned it.
No, I hadn't mentioned anything. I hadn't spoken at this point. And she's just like, yeah, you have to go to Italy. And she also told me like how she said that a big thing's going to change for you in the next 18 months or something, and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, this is nuts. Like I was like, I actually told her that I was actually thinking about going to Italy yesterday.
Yeah.
And
now you should.
Now, of course I'm going.
Yeah.
So
of course.
There's no way. And she told me that she became telepathic when her father died at the age of 10. Not psychic.
Oh, okay.
When her father died at the age of 10. But she never really like talks about it or does anything, or like it's not like she's not like a fortune teller. But sometimes she has these psychic moments, and it happened when her father died.
And it happened when she was speaking to you, clearly with the Italy thing.
Yeah. And I think sometimes she says these things and stuff, and the people in the care home maybe just think she's bananas. But I think and so for me, it's not really also, this might be just a strange coincidence. She might be talking about something, but...
You interpret it as a sign, right?
Yeah, but it's not even necessarily a sign. It's just that it's so beautiful and so poetic that I have to like embrace it.
And we're always chasing the poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that she meant that I'm going to marry this girl in Italy.
Yeah.
For me, it was just that...
You have to go to Italy.
Yeah, and also, like... But maybe I had to go to Italy in order to have this story so that I could tell it to you so that we could build a friendship and make a podcast. So, like, everything kind
of fits together.
Yeah.
Wait, so you go to Italy, right? Like, so you book the ticket to Italy and you go to Italy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I booked the ticket, I go to Italy.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really powerful trip for me. Like, for some reason, it was kind of weird with her. It didn't really make so much sense. It didn't really make so much sense. We didn't connect really that well. She was like speaking in Italian most of the time. Her English isn't even that good.
Okay.
It was definitely this big hologram. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't even really like spending much time with her. But it was a really powerful trip for me because it just shifted me, and it also gave birth to a new style of writing.
Really? Like one in which... What's different about this style of writing? Were you writing in Italian? Is that what it is?
No, I actually did write a poem in Italian before. I think I sent her a poem and she got scared.
Oh, yeah. That's like a running theme in your life.
She got scared, and then I came there and she's like scared, so she was being all weird.
Yeah, and distant. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then I was like, okay, great, perfect, now I can see the city. So I was just in Venice, kind of...
Like meandering,
alone and exploring the place. And Venice has got this, I don't know, I've got something with Venice.
You got like an energy? I've never been to Venice.
Power, there's something...
Really?
There's like, I feel like there's layers of the city, and there's like a very kind of cliche layer, and then there's like this beautiful, just cliched romantic layer, and then there's this kind of like, I don't know, like energetic, eerie, ghosty kind of historical thing that just like you like quieten it a bit, it just comes to the surface. There's something, I don't know,
something eerie, something beautiful.
Yeah, because I've had this experience in Venice before. Something
where you flew out to meet a girl and she was like distant.
No, I've been to Venice by myself before, and I just love it as a place.
Really?
Something, I don't know. And also, the food is rubbish.
It's overpriced. There's tourists everywhere.
Not really, it's full of, and I'm just like, why Venice is overhyped.
But you love it.
But then there's something incredible about it. Something that...
But it's beneath the surface.
Yeah. But on top of the surface, it is also beautiful. It's like a stunning place.
Yeah.
Right? Venice is the whole of Italy is actually insane. It's like no country has such immaculate architecture and
Like Italy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to Italy, actually. I need to go to Italy, yeah.
yeah, it's the India of Europe.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm so reluctant to go there.
Okay. Like, why would I go to the India of Europe when I could go to the India of
India.
Asia?
Yeah, well, why? I just go to my parents'
India.
house. Yeah,
Yeah,
just go to
that's
my parents'
true.
house.
South Pole.
So that's really fascinating, though, because that is the first story that you told me.
That is,
Yeah. And
so wait, obviously you've told this story, but completely different.
Yeah, I've completely distorted the story. In my version of the story, you go out for coffee with this girl for an hour, and then 2 days later, you haven't messaged her at all or anything. You like see a sign that says Italy on a bus, and then you're like, I have to go to Italy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same story.
It's just that bus was an old lady.
Yeah. I didn't realize that you'd been messaging a little bit in between. I thought you'd just gone to Italy on a whim because someone said to go to Italy. Yeah, but that's interesting. Like, we let signs and maybe even telepathy govern a lot of our lives. Like, we're constantly looking for signs.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I think me less so. Like, now less so. But it's not really signs. It's not necessarily that I'm looking for signs. It's just that beautiful synchronicities that I want to pay reverence to, and I want to like allow them to exist. And
but there's
I don't want to neglect them.
It's that poetic reality, right?
Yeah,
we want it to be beautiful.
Like, it doesn't necessarily have to have a purpose or a precise meaning. It's just that it's a beautiful painting. And like when two things fold on top of each other, it's just amazing.
But then why do we draw so much meaning from it? Because I know you said it doesn't have to have a meaning, but we do draw a lot of meaning from it.
Yeah.
Like when there are these beautiful synchronicity moments, we do not only pay reverence to them, but I think we do extract meaning from them.
Yeah.
I'm much more likely to date someone if we've met in a beautiful surrounding or in a beautiful way.
Yeah. I guess now I'm starting to think that maybe the less poetry, the more real. In a sense.
That's quite a big shift for you, though.
Yeah, but I don't really I still want the poetry, but it's not grounded in the poetry. It's grounded in something else.
It's something reality, right?
Or like the poetry, the real poetry is actually something which is like a genuine connection or a genuine intimacy.
And it doesn't have to have a beautiful synchronicity.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have all those.
Yeah.
But they can, and we can still pay reverence to those things and just revel in them. But it has to be.
Yeah, but I think there's some
like this story was just. It was just like wanting to.
Yeah, well, this story was just about creating a poetry, right?
Yeah, but I've had other really meaningful relationships.
Yeah,
which have been very poetic.
So my issue is I felt like I was getting addicted to this poetry and these signs. I was chasing after the signs. Like I was putting myself in scenarios where signs would be able to happen, where I would be able to create these sort of synchronicities.
Yeah. Well, I think if you just pay attention to the things around you, you can see a lot.
Yeah,
more. You can always conflate things together.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that when you're into something or you're obsessed with something or you're talking about something with someone, then those things just seem to happen in your life. You seem to
manifest them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see that as some sort of synchronicity, or you can just see it as a sort of cognitive bias.
Yeah, I think it's more cognitive bias, right? Actually, depends on what your view on life is and what your view on that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the cognitive bias is definitely you do see things when you're focused on something, you see it more.
You see it everywhere, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, there's so much going on in every moment and everything.
Yeah.
That if you're looking for one specific thing, you'll probably find it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you got a similar story of ridiculous like signs or poetry?
Yeah. Well, it involves a poem, right? So I had this amazing day with this girl in Montreal, like over a year ago.
Like romance. Why can't signs be about something other than romance?
That's true. Like, okay, let's think about something that doesn't involve romance.
Maybe
that's what sticks in our mind, though.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we have this conflation. We conflate a certain grandeur and poetry to the romantic.
Yeah.
In a way that we maybe don't, associate with work as much, or maybe like
No, I do have a really
Buying a
beautiful
cabbage or whatever.
synchronicity moment. Yeah, I really do.
Wait, is this non-romantic or romantic?
Non-romantic.
Okay, nice.
So I'm on the tube in the morning, and we're at Stratford Station, so on the Central Line, and